Welcome back to Inspiration Whispers, where in a world where inspiration is so needed, we find it to help you inspire your life. I am so grateful and lucky. I'm your host, Rileagh Chase, to welcome Janet Grace Nelson with me today. Dear friend, beautiful inspiration in this world. And Janet, without me blubbering on, and because I could go on for the entire show, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, please?
Oh, thank you, Rileagh. I'm so honored to be here too, and to just share this time and share this this inspirational time with you. I am a spiritual life coach and a mentor, and I lead sacred retreats all over the globe, helping women to go through their own transformation and travel and marry those things. But one of the greatest ventures that I've been on, and actually I've been a part of it my entire life, but God placed in my heart about 4 years ago that it is time to eliminate abuse on this planet in our lifetime. And it felt like, a really big, not only a big ask, a big honor. And as a spiritual life coach and someone who really has spiritual practices in place, I knew that my work was then to go deeper into listening to what that really means. And on 11/11 of 2020, Grace's Place Foundation was birthed. And we are here. Our mission is to create hope and promise and provide a compassionate community for women and children that are surviving from domestic abuse, so that they can create a vision for their future free of abuse. So we've just been on a beautiful journey of really deeply listening for what their needs are, so that we can really assist them in moving forward, having the impact in their life so that they have the tools to really create the next generation that doesn't even know what the word abuse means.
Wow. What an amazing goal and vision to have the world, the next generation, not even know what abuse means. So what inspired? I mean, you talk about, the voice, God telling you this, but at the same time, or the whisper, if it was a whisper that was given. What also? Where does this come from deep inside? What's that fire for you?
Mhm. Well, my childhood has had, several experiences that continued to deepen my relationship with God, with Jesus, with Source, with Spirit, with all the beings that are here to save and support us. And it's always been my it always felt like a deep calling of my soul. So I went in through the training to become a California domestic violence advocate almost 20 years ago. And I was teaching programs at the shelters. And what I realized was the statistic of women going back 8 to 9 to 10 to 12 times before they actually either finally escape or they're killed was a statistic that just reeked. I mean, it just like it got me right in the heart. And I was like, why do they keep going back? And I realized that with a deeper understanding of the system, and then going in and researching and trying to find out what support was there for the women after their 30 days in the shelter, or if they're lucky, they got their 60 days. But even at that point, I realized they're still bleeding. They don't have self-confidence. They don't have self-esteem. They don't have self-worth. And without having those tools and being able to share really transformational tools that can help anchor a new belief in themselves.
Mm.
And then they can share that with their children so that their children know that there's hope for the future, that their future is not what they were watching, their parents, that they can actually make new choices. And with new choices come new realities.
Wow. Wow. I mean, first of all, that statistic is flooring. And I went on and have researched your website and seen you also state that 47% of women have been abused.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's with that you saying that they go back 8 times minimally or die. And then half of our female population is in this,
Right.
at least.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, you know, with your whispering and inspiring people, to women and families, to make another choice, how do they do this? How does this happen? What is the structure that works, and what going, like, there are support groups and things out there. What makes Grace's place different?
Yeah, it's such a great question. And all the research that we've been doing, myself, my board members, and our staff are really dedicated to really figuring out what is the greatest need that is not being served. And as a spiritual life coach, I've been, serving and supporting my private clients in the secular society, and giving them tools to really move their lives forward, and releasing fear and embracing possibility and faith, and using a lot of the same tools. But what we realized was that, for sustainable change to happen, there needs to be a structure.
Mm.
We need to identify where it is that they're feeling stuck and stagnant. And many of the women that are in the year-long mentorship program that we just piloted in September of 2023, many of them have been out of their abusive situations for 10 years, 15 years. And without being able to really address the issues that are holding them back, or what I call holding them hostage, in continuously doing the same thing and having the same results, attracting the same type of partners, in a different body and in a different name, but they're still holding some of the same patterns and character traits. And without the tools for these women to recognize what they believe about themselves, what they have even entertained as a possible future for themselves, they're just in that kind of living by default and not by design. And when they get really clear on, I had this belief and it came from, this old thought and these, well-meaning parents, well-meaning friends and family. And until you question those beliefs about yourself and then decide that you want something better, and then giving them the tools and the training and the support structure on a weekly basis. And we know that transformation doesn't happen in 30 days.
No.
It just doesn't.
Come on, can't you be my fairy godmother? Just wave your wand.
Exactly. And it's like, after 30 days in a shelter, it's wonderful. The bleeding is stopping, and they're feeling that sense of safety, but they don't have the tools to move forward, so they go back. And that's what Grace's Place is all about. And we're seeing this
Mm,
as a global issue. It's a global movement. It's not an isolated incident. It doesn't just happen here in the United States. I
no.
take women on groups all over the globe, and and it's needed everywhere, everywhere.
Yeah. Wow. Truly, the everywhere can't be highlighted enough. I mean, we've seen enough from our media that says, it just shows how women and children are treated in other cultures, and the lack of respect, um, and you really touched on there the inner process of us. That bit of, we have to do some inner work so we don't go back, because we have been trained or have trained ourselves to go back. I think that's very powerful that we're not aware of, because I think most women would say, "Yeah, heck no, I would never." But and and most women don't even think they'd be in that situation in the first place, yet they got there.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful. So, what success have you already seen with this group that you're working with currently, this year long program?
Hmm. There's been so many beautiful stories, and like I said, we piloted the program in September, so we're in our 7th month now, and the changes that these women are making and the things that are happening in their lives. One woman reconnected with her estranged adult son and met her 3-year-old granddaughter for the first time.
Oh,
She didn't believe that that was possible. She believed that door was closed. She then, through the program, we teach a lot about visioning and what would you love and getting into your heart's deepest desires. And she got real clear. She wanted a relationship again with her son. She wanted to know her granddaughter. And so that's just one of many stories. One of the other participants, uh, really, she's a beautifully trained dancer and choreographer, and having danced all of her life, she had lots of parts of her body that needed, you know, new parts put in. So she's got a reconstructed knee and some reconstruction in her shoulder, and really had a limiting belief that she wasn't going to be able to dance again, that she wasn't going to be
oh,
able to choreograph. And now she's got this great big beautiful dream of taking her choreography onto AGT. So and we're all holding each other up. There's about 15 or 16 women in this pilot program, and we meeting on a weekly basis. We're supporting each other. We're encouraging each other. We're cheerleading for each other, and the things that are happening are just what I call magic and miracles. But I know magic and miracles come from our bigger believing in ourselves, and then having the sustainable tools that are necessary so that you do keep moving forward, so that you don't go back.
wow, wow, that's beautiful, and thank you for those shares with those beautiful women and what they're doing. I, there's something here that I feel like we're missing on that. When women get together, there's such power. I mean, having experienced some of this myself, um, that there's no group like women who support each other. What could you say to that? That here are these women all coming together. What happens for them in this?
Yeah. Well, and thank you for asking. And yeah, I know you've had lots of, other experiences in being in groups of women, not only through, mastermind programs, but also through the sacred retreats that are, women centered. And I think the foundation, again, when you're talking about the inner work, my work as a facilitator, as a love your life coach, as a spiritual life coach, the foundation of everything is the energy. So my most important work is continuously paying attention and fueling my own energy so that the space that I provide and the space that I train the facilitators that will carry on this work in different parts of the globe is about the foundation of the energy and the space that you're holding for these beautiful women and the potential and the possibilities that you can sense and see and feel with this training um, is also so needed in this world right now. And all of us have had experiences where we haven't had good experiences being around other women, competition and greed and this cattiness, and
Yeah.
that's so behind us, right? And when we can provide that kind of sacred space for the
Yeah.
women to come and feel safe, to feel secure, to feel supported, to
Mm.
feel guided, and to be held in whatever their vision is, and just say yes, and what's the steps you're going to take, and encourage them and give them that guidance and encouragement and empowering tools to support them in those next steps, so that once they feel that and feel that sense of sisterhood in the community, they know that that's real, because they're the things that they're experiencing in their everyday life, they, even if they're working in their homes or in their workplace or whatever, they're feeling the sisterhood with them that might be invisible, but it's really tangible. It's really, really important.
I, I'm like, I can't even say how important it is now that I've experienced it myself, and the things that you've taught me, Janet, and the groups taught me. But there is some sort of, when that you're holding that beautiful space for us and the women in these groups, that really genuine, powerful um, love, love for each other beyond what what like you said, the past, being catty with each other, being, that such a, I, I didn't know I needed it until I went to one.
Mhm.
I didn't know that I was longing for it as a woman. I thought I was fiercely independent. I didn't need men or women. I could do it all by myself. And uh, I can't say it enough to the audience as well. There's so much inspiration that comes from being in a group like this.
Mhm.
And I'd love to invite any of our viewers, or if you know anybody, to reach out to gracesplacefoundation.org, Janet's website, and take a look. It's profound and powerful and inspiring, the feelings that you feel inside. Um, I, Janet, thank you for being such an inspiration in this world, and bringing this. What are the goals for Grace's Place? What are you trying to achieve with this nonprofit foundation?
Oh, well, thank you again. And I want to just share something that just bubbled up in my heart to share in
Please.
space. I want to provide an opportunity for women to not feel shame
Wow.
around the topic of abuse. Yes, there's a statistic of 47%, but we all know what statistics, they're not, it's much higher. And abuse runs in so many gamuts. It's emotional abuse, it's mental abuse, It's even bullying on the playgrounds. Those children are seeing by example abuse, even verbal abuse, right? There's verbal abuse. There's so many forms, and physical abuse, and sexual abuse, and financial abuse. There's so many forms. And we were all trained, just like you said earlier, I can do it all myself. I can just do it all myself. And we got that from our mothers. And our mothers got that from their mothers. And their mothers got it from their mothers. But we're here in 2024 to really pave a new pathway for the future generations to know that we're all in this together. We're all in this together. And the more that we come together with humility, with desire to make the world a better place, with love, unconditional love for ourselves and for each other, and for vision, knowing that with vision, we can make the world a better place. I just finished an interview with Martin Luther King, in a platform called We the World that I do a lot of work with. And we, the world, right? We are all in this together. And not only did Martin Luther King get famous for I have a dream, but we have a dream. We all have a dream to make the world a better place, to have peace, not only peace in our own hearts, but peace in our families, peace in our communities, peace globally, right? All the things that, like you said at the beginning, all the things that are happening globally. And we as women are here to speak up, to show up, and to say what's really important. And what's really important is to create a world where everyone feels a greater sense of themselves, and that abuse is not even in the dictionary any longer. It doesn't even hold a place. And our future generations don't even know what the word means. That's the dream that I have in my heart. And I know that now that I've been traveling around the world, I just got back from Australia. Now there's groups in Australia that want to, be connected to the mission and the movement, because it's not an isolated incident. It is here for all of us to really catch the dream of a future for humanity free of abuse. Yeah.
Soaking all that in because it
it's big and it's
so
possible.
big.
Yeah.
Yes. So right now, I mean, the big goal is that freedom from abuse for global.
Mm-hmm.
What will Grace's Place look like in the near future? What are you looking forward to build as you're growing already?
Mm-hmm. Well, we're looking to expand our program. Our year-long mentorship program, I know will have a phase 2 coming up. But even in addition to that, we will be with our documentation and everything that we've been creating and co-creating for this mentorship program, we will be training the trainers. We will be training new facilitators so that we can take this program globally and get into the next communities that are aware. So raising awareness, right now we're looking to really expand our mission and our movement on a global scale, even by expanding our reach globally through social media platforms, interviews like this one. Thank you again. And also getting a boots on the ground facility here in our home base of Big Bear Lake, California. We are acquiring some physical locations where we can now be offering some even more dynamic programs for the community, for the families here in right here in Big Bear Lake, and then being able to then grab those programs, and again, train the trainers so that we can share these with other facilitators across the world.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I can't wait to see how it's going to grow, and just globally, the global reach that's so needed. So if somebody wants to donate to your foundation or reach out to you and be a participant in one of the groups, what would be the best way to do this?
Well, thank you. And thank you for sharing the website again. So it's gracesplacefoundation.org. There's ways to donate. We're doing our very first gala on June 15th of 2024, and right here in Big Bear Lake, California. So if you want to participate, you want to donate to that, or if you want to, come, the tickets are also available on that website. And also, if you know of any woman that could really benefit from our year-long Freedom Beyond Abuse program, the program information is also on that website. All they have to do, there's QR codes, which everyone's learning to know how to use them. You just put your phone right up to it, and it'll take you right to that application or to that that page on the website. So we're trying to, stay with the times, get everything easy and effortless so that it really is easy for anyone to access what area they would like to participate in through this mission to really create a future for humanity.
Yeah. Excellent. And I want to highlight what you just said in that if they know anyone, or if you're watching this and something has resonated for you or clicked with what Janet said, and you're like, well, maybe that's me. Maybe I need this group. Just go to her website, fill out the form. It's well worth it, because the statistic, 47%, like Janet said, that's only the 47% that's reported it, which means there's many of us as women and children out there that aren't reporting it because we're ashamed. And your goal of not having people be ashamed and being able to speak that out is huge, and I can't underline that enough to say this is really important for people. So thank you, Janet, for that.
Yeah.
Janet, thank you so much for being here today. You loving soul, passionate. Grace's Place is amazing, and I just thank you so much for being here and being one of my fellows and participants. So yes, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching. This is Inspiration Whispers, where in a world where inspiration is so needed, we find it to support you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.